Hello everyone, welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today we're going to be talking about another head coach hiring. This time it's going to be the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith. So we're going to be talking about Arthur Smith, who he is, his coaching career overall, and whether or not I think it's a good fit. Some implications based on his hiring, who they might bring in as the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, a couple other names associated with the assistant head coaches so far. But with that being said, let's get started. Arthur Smith is 38 years old. And he started off his coaching career at the University of North Carolina as a graduate assistant in 2006. He previously played offensive line there in college. Then he went on to the Redskins in 2007-2008. He was a defensive quality control coach there. Ole Miss in 2010 is a defensive intern and administrative assistant. Then he's been with the Titans since 2011, filling in a wide variety of roles. So he started off as a defensive quality control coach, offensive quality control coach, offensive line and assistant tight end coach, then the actual tight end coach, and he's been the offensive coordinator the past two seasons for the Titans after Matt LaFleur left to join the Green Bay Packers as their head coach. He's a guy that has a lot of experience in a lot of different roles. So he's worked on the defensive side of the ball and the offensive side of the ball. So he's got a lot of experience. That's a good thing. That's something that you look for. You're able to relate to different players. I think he is probably a year away from being a head coach, so I have a few questions about this move and whether or not it's going to work out, but it could be a good hiring as well. Another interesting fact about Arthur Smith is that his dad is actually the founder, owner, and CEO of FedEx, so that's definitely a good family to come from. It will be an interesting fit with the Falcons. Supposedly he's still going to call plays. That's one thing that I'm not particularly a fan of. If you look at head coaches coming in right away and them wanting to call plays and be the head coach at the same time, it's very, very difficult to do. Not many people are able to succeed in that way. If you look at some of the better coaches in the NFL or some of the guys that have lasted longer in the NFL, maybe I should say for better phrase, your Pete Carroll, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, what do they all have in common? They do not call plays. So I think it's a lot to ask of a first-time head coach to be a head coach and call plays at the same time. We'll see if he changes that up over the course of the year, but as of right now, that is the rumor. The Atlanta Falcons, I believe, have also hired Terry Fontenot as the GM, and I think that's a pretty good fit there too. Hopefully him and Arthur Smith can work together, rebuild this roster, kind of retool it. You're going to have to make a decision on Matt Ryan here soon. How long he's going to be your quarterback. You're obviously going to need a quarterback in the future at some point in time. You got Julio Jones that's getting up there in age as well. But, you have some good young talent. You got Calvin Ridley. You're going to need to find a running back, though. That offensive line is pretty young. They've invested a lot of capital in it over the years. That defensive side of the ball, they have a lot of good young players, and they just need a little bit more developing. So it's definitely a situation that could turn out very well. As far as assistant coaches go, no one has been hired yet, but we have a couple names linked to Arthur Smith and the Falcons overall. For that offensive coordinator position, Bears passing game coordinator Dave Ragone, he has been linked to it, as well as wide receiver coach for the Panthers, Frisman Jackson. We'll talk about Ragone real quick. He's a former NFL quarterback. I remember him from the early days of the Texans. He was there from 2003 to 2005. So definitely a guy that has some experience playing in the NFL. But he's been the quarterback coach and the Bears passing game coordinator in recent years. He actually was with Arthur Smith on the Titans from 2011 to 2013 as a coach there. He's the wide receivers coach for 2 years and then the quarterback coach for 1 year. So they do have a little bit of chemistry there. Then we got Frisman Jackson. Both of these guys are actually 41 years old. Jackson was the Titans wide receiver coach in 2017. There is a little bit of familiarity there as well. I think you're probably going to go with Ragone, but we'll see. He has more experience being a passing game coordinator already, and he spent 3 years on the same staff as Smith as compared to Jackson only spending 1 year. Then on the defensive side of the ball, Dean Pease has been connected to the Falcons and Arthur Smith as well. He's 71 years old. This is the second time he's retired after last season with the Titans. He was their defensive coordinator the past 2 years, so Arthur Smith definitely knows him from there. He's had a long coaching career, both at the college and NFL level. He's had success at both. So definitely a guy that is experienced can kind of come in and help as well. Whether it's going to be as a defensive coordinator or a positional coach remains to be seen, but if they can talk him out of retirement, he's definitely a quality piece that could help a young coaching staff. But like I said, you're going to have to make a couple decisions in the future regarding Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, kind of the direction of the team overall, whether you want to retool, rebuild, or kind of build it up with the young players that you already have. But, Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot, that's their job, and hopefully they do a good job with it. This has the potential to be a good hire, but I have some question marks whether or not it will work, just based on, Arthur Smith being a younger coach. He's only an offensive coordinator for 2 years. Some people may see that as a downside. Some people may say it's all right. I don't know a lot about his personality overall. I've been told he's a very intelligent guy. Watching his initial press conference, he wasn't the best public speaker in the world. I don't like to knock coaches down because of that, but some guys you can kind of see, them coming in and really having a plan, attacking that, or, really having a plan, kind of talking about that in the initial press conference. I didn't see quite that much with his, but, that's not the end-all, be-all either. It's really how you relate to the coaches, how you can scheme things up, and build your team for success. But with that being said, if you guys have any thoughts about this hiring Arthur Smith going to the Falcons, please leave them down in the comments below. Really, really interested to see what you guys had to say on this. Going into the offseason, I didn't think Arthur Smith would be a good candidate this year. Like I said, I think he's just a guy that needed a little bit more experience. I think he's a guy that could end up being a coach, have it not working out, and then being a really good coordinator for a long time to come as well. There's a lot of guys in the league like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody that becomes head coach is going to work out. Just keep that in mind. But with that being said, if you guys are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. It really helps build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, and that's really one for you, the viewers. Talking a lot of fantasy football. We're going to be talking a lot of football news in the offseason, going through a lot of different things. Like I said, podcastingnetwork.com. Check it out. I read articles there. Going to be doing some off-season articles there as well. So if there's something you guys want me to write about on one of those articles or see in a future video, please let me know. Like I said, if you guys are into baseball as well, I'm going to be doing some baseball news, some fantasy baseball headed into fantasy baseball season as well. But with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Tomorrow's video will be going over one of the other head coaching hirings, and that one is going to be Brandon Staley becoming the next Chargers head coach. And that's going to be a real interesting one as well, because he's a guy that, he's only been a defensive coordinator for 1 year, but we'll go over him, talk about his experience, and my thoughts on that as well. But once again, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Like I said, if you guys are a Falcons fan, if you are a fan of Arthur Smith, if you don't think this is a good hiring, if you think it's a good hiring, please let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Love to hear them. But once again, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and I really hope you have a great rest of your day.